So you're making a short film, but you don't have any money and you don't know how you're gonna make it look good. Well, I'm gonna go through a few unique shot setups that I did for my short film Sinking to kind of maybe give you some inspiration and show you that you don't really need a ton of budget to make some cool shots. So let's take a look. This is our protagonist, Kelly. Now, the theme of the film is that Kelly is a recent widow and she's kind of struggling to process the loss of her husband. And the sink kind of acts as a metaphor for that. Now, this is Kelly's second encounter with the sink. So the first time she's poured the drain cleaner down, it hasn't worked. Now she's come back, she's frustrated. She's frustrated at the sink, but she's also frustrated at her situation. So we have this really frantic montage that kind of shows her taking her frustrations out on the sink. And then the final shot of that exchange is this dolly pullout of the sink after she's poured all these drain cleaners in it. When I was writing it and when I was storyboarding it, I wanted this to almost feel like a fight scene. When you're doing a sequence like that, you can't really settle for basic coverage, even for inserts like this. I don't even know if I would call this an insert. We actually didn't shoot any of these sink shots during principal photography. We actually did a separate insert day. It was actually multiple days of shooting to get the sink stuff right. This shot is really important. It's one of the most important shots of the film, and it's just a shot of a sink. So what do we have here? We have the drain and we have a pullback. Now, I went to Canadian Tire and I bought a sink. Shout out to people that install their own sinks. Couldn't be me. So I took the sink and I cut out an opening in the front of it here. And the lens we used, so this was actually shot on the Blackmagic. This is a probe lens. So this lets you get up close and personal. They use this a lot in product videos. And then lighting wise, it was super simple. I put a piece of foam core up on a C-stand and then just shot a light, bounced it off to kind of simulate daylight. We shot this at like midnight. You can see outside, it's pitch black. We put it on a Dana dolly. We had a pullback and a slight tilt up. And because the Blackmagic doesn't have autofocus, there was a lot of kind of finagling with we were using the DJI Focus Pro and just kind of eyeballing it until we got the focus and the timing that we were looking for. 1, 2, 3. It's tricky when you're starting out in film because you not only don't have money, but in a lot of cases, you also don't have time. So because I was able to just shoot these inserts in my house anytime I wanted, I was free to kind of mess up and make mistakes. There wasn't that constant pressure when you're on set to, 5 minutes to get the shot, 10 minutes to get the shot. A lot of times that leads you to cutting corners and kind of half-assing things. And to kind of show how important these shots are, I'm going to do a alternate cut version if we had just used the standard coverage that we shot on the day. The result was one of the most important shots in the film, and it had the impact that I wanted, and it wasn't very expensive. You could do this cheaper. If I were to do this for less money, I would set it up on a flat table, put the sink down on the end of the table, and then get one of those cheap dollies that uses like roller skate wheels, and you just pull it back from the sink. And if you have a camera with good autofocus, you just lock it onto the drain itself. And you probably can't do the tilt because we had a fluid head tripod for this, and you wouldn't on one of those little wheelie dolly thingies. But that's a significantly cheaper way of doing this without having to rent a Dana dolly and a probe lens. Second shot, she's just discovered that her sink is clogged. How do you take what the character's feeling and what you want the audience to be feeling and kind of distill that into a frame? So there's a few basic elements of the shot that we need to be able to create. We want this outline that's going to be framing Kelly. We want her face front and center, and then we also want her to be pouring the bottle in. Now she does actually pour the drain cleaner onto the lens. And I'm going to show you how we did that in a second. Now, a main inspiration for this shot was actually Breaking Bad. They do a ton of object POV shots in that show. It was a big element to a lot of the shots we did in this film. So kind of checking out the BTS here, here's how we did this. Now, the first thing you want to do when you're thinking of a shot like this is, what do I have around the house? You want to be kind of delving into the pocket as little as possible. You want to use what's at your disposal. So I have these, you can even see it right here, these kind of walnut coffee tables that you kind of can move around the room. I have 2 of them. So we did these 2 stands on either side. And then we put, I have a fish tank from when I used to do product videos. So I balanced the fish tank on top of the stands here. And then inside is my Fuji X-T4, which this is actually being shot on, just pointed straight up. So that allows us to effectively pour the drain cleaner onto the lens. Now, to create the look of the drain, if you can see here, I literally went to Canadian Tire and walked through the PVC plumbing section, and I found the widest diameter pipe that I could. And then if you can see on it, we just taped it to the bottom of the fish tank. And we actually got this first try when we were shooting. And you can see here, this is some BTS I was doing. So I just hooked up my camera and it looked great. And I was really happy with it. And all it is really is it's taking those elements and it's envisioning the shot and it's thinking, how do I take the elements of the shot and do it for as little money as possible? I need fluid pouring onto the lens. Okay, I need a barrier between the camera and the fluid. And then all we need, we don't need to stick a camera down the drain. We just need it to look like you're looking up a drain. And when it comes to object POVs like this, the size of the camera is a major factor. This film was shot primarily on the Blackmagic Pocket 6K Pro, which while it's an amazing camera, it's large. And even though I'm technically sacrificing some image quality to get this done, the amount it would have cost me to get this shot with the Blackmagic did not justify the time and money that it would have taken. If I only had access to a GoPro and I still wanted to get this shot, I would have just gone for it. Part of directing and cinematography is knowing what to sacrifice and when. If budget is preventing you from getting a shot, figure out a way to do it cheaper. There is a way. Almost anything you see in a film can be replicated on a shoestring budget. It usually just takes time and a lot of creativity. So as you can see, stuff like this really makes a difference. And even though this sync one was kind of pricey, it was 100% worth it. And this sync shot is my favorite shot of the film. It's on the poster, it's on the thumbnail, it's in all the promo I'm doing for it. It creates a lot of intrigue around the subject matter of the film. And it's just cool. So at the end of the day, what else do you need? Make sure you check out Syncing if you haven't already. The full short film is available on my YouTube to watch for free. And be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more breakdowns like this. Let me know if you want me to keep doing them.